Hello, hello. How's it going? Azrin the Language Nerd here. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday afternoon. Happy Easter. And let's dive into this video today. So I'm making this video for a few tutors that work for me here at the Calgary Language Nerds. I wanted to make a video to show them some different activities that they can use in some kids classes that they're going to have coming up. And right before I was making the video, it occurred to me that I could make this video public on my YouTube or on different platforms, because there are probably other language teachers and tutors out there that are always looking for ideas and activities to use when teaching their kids and teaching their classes. And so I thought if I make it public and other people can watch the video, it might be helpful for them. So this video is primarily for some tutors at the Calgary Language Nerds, but of course it's going to be a public video so that maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed, some other language teachers, language tutors, you can also benefit from some of the resources and activities I share in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. I've taken some notes over here. So if I look over to my left, that's why. It's because I'm looking at my notes to make sure I don't forget anything. So the first game that I would like to share with you today is the following. If you work at the Calgary Language Nerds, you've probably played this game or at least seen this game before. It's a classic for kids and adults alike, actually. It's called Headbands. The box looks like this. I prefer the children's versions of Headbands. The children's version is actually a lot better for language learning and language teaching purposes, because the types of cards you have in the game are day-to-day objects and day-to-day things. But in the adult version, it's much more obscure and much more challenging. So I find that the kids version is a lot better for language teaching purposes and language learning purposes. Traditionally, the way the game works is let me actually show you with this. Traditionally, the way it works is you've got these headbands in the box. You place a headband on your head, right? You attach it to your head. Let's take my hat off. You attach it to your head as so. There we go. Oop, that didn't work. Let's do it like this. There we go. You attach it to your head like so. You put a card, do not look at it, in the headband. Easier said than done. All right, hang on, especially because my camera's backwards. So when I move to the left, it actually moves to the right on my camera. There we go, like that. So I technically don't know what my card is. I don't know what my card is. I'm not allowed to look, but the person I'm playing with can see what the card is. And then I have to ask my partner whoever the student, in this case, the student, I would ask the student questions as to what card I have on my forehead. I might say, am I an animal? Am I a thing? Am I big? Am I small? Am I heavy? So this is a great game you can play, and there's lots of variations depending on the level of the students. For the tutors that I'm making this video for here, we can talk about some different variations of how you can play this game based on the kids you're going to be teaching. We can talk about that. But it's a great game. And so you're asking for hints so you can guess what your card is. The other person then asks you questions to guess what their card is. There's other variations of this game that you can play. Another variation is I pick up the card, I get to look at the card, but my partner or whoever I'm playing with, they can't see the card. By the way, you can play this in a private class or a group class. It doesn't really matter. So the other person cannot see the card, but I can. And I have to give you hints about what card I have. And you have to guess my card. That's a little bit of an easier version, I find. The children's version of Headbands has a few different categories of cards. You have some foods. You have animals. You have household objects, if I can find one in here, like a cup, for example. And then there's a few random things in here too. So you've got things like, I can't remember random things like helicopter. That's a random thing. But generally it's foods, animals, household objects, and then there's a couple of just random one-off things that are difficult to really place into any specific category. Really, really good game. The other thing you can do with this game is you pick up a card. I have to tell you in the target language, the language that you're trying to teach, what to draw. So if I'm looking at, I have a cow, I might say, if I was teaching English, I might say, draw a head, draw a big mouth, draw some big teeth, draw 4 legs, draw a tail, draw 2 eyes, draw 2 ears. And I'm trying to get them to draw what card I have. And then I show the card at the end, and we see whoever had the closest drawing to the card that I had in my hand. It's very funny because people are trying to picture what kind of animal or what kind of object you have. So sometimes you can see them try to draw something. And then when you show the card, they're like, oh my God, I thought you had a dog. I was drawing a dog, but it was really a cow. So that's another game you can play with Headbands cards. If you don't own the game Headbands, you can actually find, if you Google, if you go into Google, you can simply use flashcards, any kind of flashcards. You can actually make your own flashcards for that matter. You can make your own flashcards by using a website such as Canva. So let me show you what Canva looks like. I'll share my screen here so you can see. I've talked about Canva before. It's not the first time. I've talked about it in the past. Canva looks like this. Well, let me make this a bit, is that big enough? Let's make it bigger. There we go. So Canva looks like this. If we go to over here, we go flashcards. Actually, I can show you some of my flashcards. I've made some flashcards before. So here we go. I have some flashcards here. Oh, I think you can't see my screen anymore. That's too bad. Anyway, I'll just zoom in so you can see. You can use Canva to actually make your own flashcards. I don't really want to do a Canva tutorial today. It's a reasonably straightforward platform to use. Again, I don't want this to become like a tech how-to. I want to show you some resources. You're going to, I think a lot of my tutors actually use some of these platforms anyway. They've used these before. So I don't want to go super far into technological how-tos, like how to use this technology, how to use this software. So I don't want to go too far into that today. So Canva is a platform you can use to make flashcards, and then you can use those flashcards to then play Headbands. So that is activity number 1. Kids and adults alike love it. Great activity. What else do I have here? The other one is Pictionary. Now let me show you a good website you can use for Pictionary. Pictionary, you can do paper pencil, by the way. If you've never played Pictionary, it's a really straightforward game. The way Pictionary works is someone draws a picture, the other person tries to guess what they drew. Super easy game, very easy to play. There's a website you can use if you're playing it online. I know the classes that my tutors are going to be teaching, it's an online class. And so I want to show you a website you can use for Pictionary. Here we go. So let's just hop over to, so this website, you can't see, you can see it actually, yes you can. This website is called Scribble.io, okay? It's a fun game, by the way, regardless if it's kids or not. When you play with kids, the most important thing is to create a private room. Don't just click play. If you click play, you're going to play with a whole bunch of random people from the internet. And you do get people that swear and that are vulgar or that say things that are inappropriate, who draw things that are inappropriate. And that's not very good for kids. And really, it's not ideal for a language learning classroom anyway, to be honest. But you can play in a whole variety of different languages, which is nice. So what I like to do is I like to create a private room. You can pick how many rounds there are. You pick how much time you have to draw your picture. And then what I do is I play with custom words. I don't just play with the random words because that's not practical for a language learning classroom. So I say use custom words exclusively. And I then type the different words that we're going to be playing with. I usually pick words and phrases, not just words and phrases that we have already learned in class. So let's say we did a unit on family. I might have mom, dad, sister, brother, niece, nephew, grandpa, grandma, I might even put some sentences because maybe we learn some phrases like my mom is a nurse. My dad is a whatever he is, CEO of a large company, is the CEO of a large company. So you put in, I put in quite a few different words and phrases because you're only going to play with those. And then what you would do is you would share this link down here with the student. So you copy this, you share it with the student. Let me actually join this as a second player so you can see what it would look like. Let me join as maybe I'll be Azren play. Okay, so there we go. Now you can see Azren and Grass. Grass is also me. I'm just the same person. You click start. So Azren is choosing a word. So this player 2, so on my other screen, I'm picking a word. So I'm going to pick one, and I'm going to start drawing it. So I might draw a head. I'm going to draw some long hair. Okay, let's say I'm done my drawing. Okay, you guys can see my drawing here. Now me, I'm going to guess this word. So I go in the chat over here, and I type in dad, and that's wrong. You can see at the top there's 3 letters. I go, okay, maybe it's a mom. I got it right. Yay, I get some points. So this is a good Pictionary game that you can play. Now I get to pick a word. Grandpa, and I draw my dude. Here's my grandpa. The other person goes, they guess, they go into the chat, they type grandpa. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Grandpa. Yay, they got it right. So this is how Scribble works. Just remember to make a private room, because if it's not a private room, then you're going to play with strangers, and that's not great for, it's not really great for a language learning classroom. So I love Scribble. Fun, very fun game. Let me look at my notes here. Another online activity you can do is, yes, Kahoot. K-A-H-O-O-T. Kahoot is an excellent activity. I'm a big fan. Big fan of Kahoot. So many of you have probably played it before. I feel it's a standard game in a lot of classrooms nowadays, like in school classrooms per se. So let me open up Kahoot right now so I can show it to you, and I'll share my screen. And let's go log in. I got to log into my account here so I can show you. Okay, I'm logged in. Oops. Okay. There we go. Share screen. Kahoot. Okay. Kahoot, let's go over here actually. Kahoot is a website and an application that you can use to play trivia games with students. It's best in a group environment, to be honest, but also works in a one-on-one private class. It works in both. Let me show you some pre-made Kahoots, some Kahoots made by other people. So let's say we search, there's all sorts of Kahoots, by the way. As you can see, there's one on Angry Birds, there's one on Disney, one called the Rebel Girls. There's Kahoots on April Fool's Day, and all sorts of different Kahoots. So I go into, let's say we want to do one on like Spanish or something. Spanish, sure, Spanish numbers, let's say. People have often already made lots of fun quizzes about numbers. So let's say I did this one, números, this one here, 0 a 1000. So what you do is you click on, you can just play it, to be honest. You just click on play. You can play as a host, or you can play as a, I suppose, as a challenge. Usually you're going to want to host games. So the way it works is players, oh, you can't see my screen. You can only see, you can't see the right one. Hang on here. Let's swap the screen that you guys can see. I don't know which one it is, actually. I think it's this one. It's this one here. So share. One moment. There we go. So here's a Kahoot. We're going to do one-on-one, player versus player. We go classic. Okay, so what you do is you share this code with your student. So your student, you give this code to them. They go to www.kahoot.it, and they're going to enter this game pin. So I'm going to do that right now on a different screen, and I'm going to join this game, kahoot.it. Kids often know how this works because they've often played it in school. Enter a game pin. Once I've joined, boom, I show up on the screen. Let's say it's a private class. You click Start. Now, the other student is going to need to have some other device, like a phone or computer or whatever it is. So on the student's phone, they're going to see. So let's see here. So on my screen, on my screen, they're going to see this question with the time limit. On their screen, they get to select one of the options. So I'm going to select it right now on the other screen, cero. Right? They got it right. You can see that they got it right. On the player screen, they get to see how many points they got. They get points based on how quickly they answer and if they got the answer right or wrong. It's a fun little game I like to play. So Kahoot is another classic. Group classes is ideal. Private works as well, to be honest. Okay, so we did Headbands, we did Kahoot, we did Scribble, and we did Pictionary. Another game I like here, it's another classic. This one I do paper pencil. I do it, actually print it out, and I'll send it to students. I have an example here that I did for Easter with a couple of kids, or actually one kid, not a couple of kids, with one kid. It's bingo. Bingo, there's lots of bingo games you can play, and you can find thousands of bingo games online. So this is an Easter bingo. On my bingo card, you guys can see different, some different pictures and words. So we have like rabbit, there's a bird, raindrop, Sunday, seed, basket, pinwheel. These are all Easter oriented. The bingo game came with different printout eggs, so that when you're playing the bingo game, you'd cover the different items. And then it comes with some call out hints, right? So I would pick out a card. I did this. I picked out a card, one of these call out hints, and I said, I have a candle you can hold. I am quite tightly knit. Purple, yellow, brown, or gold. I am a... And then the person has to think, oh, what is that? What could that be? Right? I have a handle you can hold. I'm quite tightly knit. Purple, yellow, brown, and gold. I am a... And they have to look. Where is the purple, yellow, brown, and gold? I have a handle. Oh, it's a basket. Right. And then they get to put a little piece down on the basket. So you can find, you literally Google or go on Pinterest. You can find all sorts of bingo games. You can even make your own bingo game, to be honest. You don't have to find one that's pre-made. You could make your own if you wanted to. You make out some call-out cards, some hint cards if you want to, or you can just find them online. And you'll have to modify them. Like if you're teaching a beginner German class or a beginner Spanish class or something, and they're not going to understand a hint written that loud, that long, excuse me. You might just write one word on the card. You might just say basket, and they have to find the basket, cover it out. Maybe you give a short sentence. Another great classic activity you can play with kids and adults, to be honest, adults too. You would need to send this bingo sheet to mom or dad in advance so they can print it out for their kids and they can have all the materials ready. That's going to be important. So bingo is a classic. What else did I write down here? Okay, other one here is doing crafts. I'm a big fan of, so it's funny. Crafts are great in language learning classrooms. You can do lots with crafts online and in person. One craft idea, which is fun. Let me show you here. I'm going to share my screen to something else. Let me share this one here. Are these paper fortune tellers. A lot of kids do these in school. I'm not going to play the video or anything like that for copyright reasons. I don't want to get any copyright strikes or anything on YouTube. This is on PPO channel. So I'm not sure if you've seen these before, but kids love these. The way it works is, as you can see on the outsides here, you guys can see that there is there are these colors, right? You put blue, yellow, green, and red, as you can see. The way it works is pretty straightforward. You have the person pick a color. Let's say they pick blue. How many letters does blue have? We have what? B-L-U-E, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. So what you do is for each letter, you open the fortune teller that number of times. So maybe I'll just play like 5 seconds, you can see. So it's like U-E, right? B-L-U-E. So you open it like that 4 times, 1 per letter. Then inside, you guys can see these numbers, 8, 3, whatever it is. You don't have to put numbers, nor do you have to put colors on the outside. For you, I would put anything on the outside of the fortune teller that you're working on in class. Let's say you're doing family. That's an example I gave earlier. And you have brother. Brother has how many letters? B-R-O-T-H-E-R. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 letters. So they pick brother. You open and close that fortune teller 7 times. Then you pick one of the inside ones. They put numbers here. You might put more family members in there. And it goes and goes and goes and goes a number of times. And finally, once the paper's opened up enough times, you land on a message. And you have to make it yourself, of course. So the message for kids, I'll usually just put something encouraging, like, you're so smart, you're so amazing, you're, I don't know, you're good at German, how are you, whatever it is. And those are always fun to do. That's always a fun craft you can do in a great way. Kids love those fortune tellers. They can even make them too, and they can write their own brother, sister, mom, dad, whatever it is on the craft and on the fortune teller, and they can open it up and they can play that at home. They're amazing, super popular. Adults too, why not? Adults love that too, to be honest. You can do other crafts too. I like other crafts you can do, for example, is you build something together. You do a craft together. So they have all the materials, you have all the materials. You give them an instruction. Cut the paper like this. You say it in the target language. Fold the paper like this. Pick simple crafts. I do simple ones. And you do it together in the target language. I usually teach I would teach the vocabulary that required for the craft in advance. You might take a lesson or two just to teach the vocabulary for the craft before you do the craft together. You might need to do that, possibly. But that's another great thing you can do in the classes yourself, in the class itself. Okay, what else do you have here? We did Kahoot, we did Headbands, we did Pictionary with Scribble, we did crafts. Super simple one for homework. This is more of a homework thing to give. Very simple, but kids like it. A lot of kids like it anyway. Let me share my screen one more time. Are coloring sheets. So let's say you've been working on fruits and vegetables in your class. Okay. There's lots of coloring pages, and a lot of them are like royalty free. They're free to use. They're for public use. There's lots of them that you can get and print out. A lot of them are labeled. Like if you're teaching an English class, right? A lot of them are actually labeled already. A very simple activity is you give them a coloring sheet. They have to color in the different fruits and veggies, and they have to label the different fruits and veggies in the target language. This would be a bad example. This one here would be a bad example of a coloring sheet, because there's nowhere to write. There's not enough space to write the names of each fruit and vegetable in the target language. It's just too squishy, right? So this is probably a bad example. But if it was a coloring sheet that was more like, let's find a good one here. Like something like, even this one's kind of squishy. Let's see what we can find here. This one only has 4, but notice this one, there's more space underneath to write the names of the fruits and vegetables, right? Does that make sense? There's more space to write the fruits and vegetables names. And I don't know if this one's usable for anybody, if this is copyright or if there's anything like that. It's printable for anyone. I assume it's online and anyone can use it, I would assume, but always double check. I always double check that kind of thing. So yeah, I'm a big, coloring sheets are a very simple homework that you can give where they have to label the fruits and vegetables in the target language that you're teaching. Super simple homework you can give. Super, super simple. Did I have anything else on my page here? Yes, I have one more activity. This one is what I'm going to do for the tutors here that are watching. I'm actually going to send this one to you attached to this video because there's a very good video demonstration of it already. And I'm just going to send you the video demonstration of it. So maybe we'll wrap the video up here. Thank you for those who did watch this, those who watched this that were not Calgary Language Nerds tutors. For the tutors that are watching this, we're going to talk about this. We should talk about this more one-on-one as well, on like what kinds of things to teach using some of these activities and to build out some of the curriculums together. But this is a good intro video to get some ideas planted in your mind. So, okay, everyone, thank you for watching. I appreciate your attention. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.